Welcome everybody. Welcome to today's class. And as we all know, today is a big day as we are starting off today with the most awaited SDK that we have on AR, that is AR Foundation by Unity. Yes, you heard me right. Today we will be starting off with AR Foundation. So till now we have taken a look over the AR landscape. We have spent 2 days, playing around with Vuforia, and in that we covered the image target stuff, right? And now you know how Vuforia works and what you can do actually with Vuforia. Also, let's not forget we created a resume ready and fun project that was a tribute to Harry Potter, a Harry Potter newspaper style app, right? But now is like, this is great, right? Because most of the AR experiences that are created today that use AR Foundation on a professional level, AR Foundation is the one that is used because this gives you much more capabilities and abilities to create intriguing, and interactive AR experiences, right? So let's start off by sharing my screen, right? And we won't start away with the Unity right away. First, we'll recap. Although I've already given you an overview of AR Foundation when I was talking about AR and its landscape, right? But let's still spend some time to recap about what AR Foundation was, okay? Why is AR Foundation so cool? Before understanding AR Foundation, we need to take a look at AR Core, right? And ARKit, okay? So what is AR Core? If you remember right, this is revision time maybe. So AR Core was Google's SDK to allow developers to create AR experiences, right? So with the help of it, you can create AR experiences using Android Studio, and your native Android development procedures. Also, it released a AR Core SDK or a plugin for Unity itself. So you can use Unity and then use AR Core capabilities in Unity as well, right? To create AR experiences very specific to Android phones. These AR experiences created with AR Core will work only on Android phones, right? As an answer to Google's AR Core for creating AR experiences, Apple released its own SDK known as ARKit, right? So ARKit is again a powerful SDK by Apple, which lets developers create AR experiences for iOS devices, right? So then what is this AR Foundation? Now I guess you're recalling, right? We discussed about the problem and how AR Foundation solves that problem. So let me again discuss that. For example, I'm an AR developer. Okay, I want to create an AR app, and I really wanted, many and all the people to use it, so that I can be famous maybe, or I can, have some money maybe, or whatever, right? So okay, I coded for 2 to 3 months, and I create a well-deserving AR app, and I have used AR Core, and I've uploaded it on the Play Store, and I'm getting an extremely positive response, and everybody's liking it. It is getting, on the trending pages and whatnot. Okay, but now users are asking that some users say we also want to play AR, this AR experience or AR game of yours, but we are unable to do so because this is only available on Play Store. It's not an app store. It is not for iOS devices. What do we do now? We want to play it, but we cannot. As a developer, I'm disheartened, right? Now I have created an app, but it's only for Android users, right? My audience for who has iOS, they are not able to use it. So what can I do? I can again spend 2 to 3 months, creating this very same app with the same functionality and release it on iOS, which there will be a gap of 2 to 3 months, right? And even if I do that, I'll make everybody happy. But what if I want to launch an update of the app? So again, I would have to recreate the update for again once for Android and once for iOS, right? Once using AR Core, once using ARKit. So that is a big problem for me, right? I'm doing twice the work for achieving the same experience for everybody. So that's where Unity steps in and says, dude, why are you doing double work? Let's we are proud of you that you're such hardworking developer, but let's use that power into developing new stuff, right? What's the point of recreating stuff? So they said we present AR Foundation. And what do they say there is you develop by Unity using AR Foundation, and you would have to use functions from AR Foundation. And behind the scenes, we will take care of building it for iOS devices or Android devices. whenever you build, whenever you're in the build stage, and if you select iOS device, then ARFoundation functions will natively use ARKit's functions and ARKit SDK. But if you're building it for Android device, ARFoundation SDK's functions would actually natively call ARCore SDK's function, right? And this was a magical experience. Why? Because this solves such a big problem for the developer. Now he doesn't have to code twice to get the same experience for Android devices and iOS devices. Now he can only code once and deploy anywhere, iOS or Android. So that was the revolution that Unity created via ARFoundation, and it has been really successful. And that is why Unity is one of the most used AR development experience, game engine. Okay, so that's the story of ARFoundation. I hope now you again have recalled what we have already discussed, but now it's fresh and right in front of everything, right? So that is what ARFoundation is. And now let's see how can we learn ARFoundation. What is the best way of learning ARFoundation? So my friends, let me tell you one thing straight. No matter how many tutorials you see, no matter how many such videos you see, you will be only able to learn till a certain extent, whatever is shown into this video, or maybe whatever is shown in multiple tutorials, right? But what if you want to learn after that as well, beyond that as well? For that, you would need a skill, and that is learning skill. Learn yourself skill, DIY, doing your own research and doing your own things yourself. So how do we do that? So in this video and in this ARFoundation days, we will be taking a look at how and what is the best way of doing things. Okay, so what you should do is you should definitely first of all read about ARFoundation. Okay, so what ARFoundation is and what it is not. Okay, ARFoundation has its own documentation as well as it has its own GitHub page. So you can go to GitHub and click on ARFoundation Samples. Okay, this is the repository we are interested in. Why is this so? Because this repository has multiple examples, pre-created examples given by the SDK developer, that is Unity's team itself, so as for us to see, to play with it and to learn from it, right? So this is the very best way of learning any SDK out there, because any good SDK would have its own documentation and would come with its own very examples, right? So that is what we will be leveraging here, the examples given by Unity for ARFoundation. So you have to go to ARFoundation Samples. You can simply write ARFoundation Samples GitHub, and this should definitely show up. Click on it, you will be redirected to this very page, and here we have. So here you click on this main. Okay, this is main, and there are multiple branches. Okay, so first of all let's read through it. Okay, this says this is example project that uses ARFoundation 5. So that may be the latest version of ARFoundation. So here it also tells us which version should I use, how should I choose which version to use. So it says, as per a Unity version, you should use the following ARFoundation version. So we are using Unity 2021.2. Am I right? Yes, Unity 2021.2.10. Okay, so this is the one we are using. So we should use this 4.2 verified. Okay, 5.0 is a pre-release, right? So let's go ahead with this. Let's click on 4.2, and this shall change our branch to 4.2. And here are the samples for 4.2. Okay, so and now this is the instruction for installing ARFoundation. Download the latest version of Unity software of Unity 2020.3 or later, then open Unity and load the project at the root of ARFoundation, this very repository. Open your choice of sample scene, see the ARFoundation documentation. This is very important. Let's open this as well, ARFoundation documentation. So here we have ARFoundation documentation, and it gives us an overview of ARFoundation. It also gives us features that are supported. This is ARCore, ARKit, Magic Leap, HoloLens, right? And supported platform packages and subsystems, and how to install, what are the packages that are to be installed for using this ARFoundation. Okay, but what we'll be doing here is, as a first step, we don't want to get into installing packages and whatnot. That is why we are downloading this very project, in which everything will be preset and we can directly play with the examples. So we will have to, not have to do the boilerplate stuff. We will be playing with the examples, which will give us an overall idea about how things work. And then we'll be creating our own new project from starting, from the base, from ground zero, and import everything, so that we learn how can we actually import things. Okay, so what you have to do here is click on code and download the zip. Okay, I've already done that. So once you have downloaded the zip, you shall have your zip file, and you can just double click on it, or just extract it, and it should give you this project. Right now you have to open this in Unity. So what you will do is, first of all, let me close Unity. Okay, yeah, and let me remove this as well. So now what you have to do is you have to open this project, whatever you have downloaded and extracted. So you click on open, and this shall tell you, okay, just select a project that you want to open. Click on wherever you have, extracted the project, click on it, and click on the root folder where, assets, inside which the assets is there. So click on the folder, simply click open, and it shall open the project. And here, I have already opened this one. That is why it is not giving me this error or, symbol. But this would give you something, and it will say, that this should be open with the Unity 2023 or whatnot, and you don't have that installed, right? So what you have to do is simply click here and click on whatever Unity version you have, which is this Unity 2021.2. This, and say select Android, because at the end of the day we have to switch this to Android and then convert, then play, or maybe make an build an Android app, right? So click on Unity and say open with this. It says it's already open. Let's first close it. Now let's say open with this. Okay, so this is how this will open the project. Okay, this will do the importing and stuff. On my end, this might do it pretty fast because I've already opened it once. For you, it shall take some time. Okay, so then what you will see here is you will see all these folders here. Okay, I like to keep the size pretty low, and then we can go to scenes folder. On the scenes folder, these are all the examples. Okay, let's open this very example that says simple AR. Double click on the scene, and here we should be. Okay, and now what we can do is we can actually see from here what what is the structure of the project. So in this scene, it has direction light. Oh yes, we know that. This has something known as AR session. This has something known as AR session origin. Inside origin, there is AR camera. Then it has canvas, and then event system and whatnot. Okay, so we know canvas and stuff is for the UI, right? Maybe it is for these buttons and whatnot, right? But what is this AR session and AR origin, right? So what they've done is in ARFoundation as well, just like in Vuforia, they have already created some pre-built components, right? Which will take care of a lot of stuff. So this very example gives you a boilerplate stuff, with the help of which you can actually start off with the AR session and actually place a cube on the plane. Okay, so what we can see here is this is AR session. In this we have AR session component and AR input managers. Okay, and here we have something known as tracking mode, which is what do you want to track. So we want to track the position as well as rotation. Then on AR session origin, we have AR session, which does something, maybe initialize the session and whatnot. We have plane manager. This, as it looks, takes care of the planes, setting up the planes, taking care of them. Then we have point cloud manager. Okay, what is that? We'll look into it. AR raycast manager. Okay, so we know raycasting is like throwing a ray and hitting it and doing something. So AR raycast manager would be something like that. And there's a place on plane script. Okay, which uses a prefab. This is the AR place prefab. If we see it, so this is a pink color cube. Okay, pretty decent looking cube. So let's just simply build this. Okay, and let's see what happens. Okay, because here what we're doing is trying to just play around with it and see what happens. So again, if it is not on Android, click on Android and click on switch platform, right? Then you can go to player settings, although all the properties will be set. Why is that so? Because we have downloaded a project which is preset. So what are the things that you need to take care is, there are a few things. That is minimum target level. So on Android, it should be 7.0. If this is below this, then AR is not supported. Then target level API highest, it can be highest. Okay. Then what we have to do is this says, build it for both the platforms. Okay. Now this is the architecture for Android. And then, yeah, this is more or less like it. These are the things that should be set up. And now once you click on build, it will spit out an APK. Then again, you can take care of that APK, put it on a mobile phone via maybe a USB connection or via a wireless connection, and then try to run the app. Okay, so let's do that. And here we go. I hope my screen is not shared. Yeah, let me share my screen. Yep, now it is shared. So here is the APK that was spit out by the Unity. I sent this APK to my very own Android device and have recorded the demo there. And let's see what this demo does. Okay, so this is the app once it starts, and here we can see a camera opens up and we can actually scan our environment. So as soon as we scan our environment, you would see these orange dots, right? So these are point clouds. So these are, those features that we saw in Euphoria, right? So on the runtime, Unity, this AR Foundation, as of now, AR Core is trying to see, okay, what are the features that I can see? What are the features? So if it finds multiple features on a same height level, it considers it as a plane. Okay, so it draws a plane there. Okay, so here you would see there are multiple planes being drawn because my phone is a pretty old device, right? And that is why the tracking is not that great. Okay, but if you do it with a new phone or with an iPhone or with any new generation phone, this shall not happen, and the number of planes would be very less. Okay, so here I can click on any plane and I can place a cube there, right? So this was a very simple example. And here now I clicked on reset button, which resets the whole scene and, starts off the tracking and everything once again, right? So you would see here, all the planes will be gone and all the cube and everything will be gone. And this will be reinstantiated again. Okay, as soon as I click on the reset button, right? So I guess yeah, here's it when I clicked on it. So again, everything is gone. Now we have much less number of planes. And as of now, you could see this is, detecting planes horizontally as well as vertically. So this very plane is vertical, right? And, we can set all these things by the foundation. Like we want to detect horizontal planes. We want to detect just the normal planes, horizontal planes or whatnot, right? Now let's see what was happening. So this AR session is taking care of this AR session. Session means whatever the session is going on right now, what are the frames that it is taking care of, whatever, like whenever the session started, it starts collecting data, gets the plane and everything. Once we restart this session, all the data is dumped and we start fresh, right? Then this session origin has different components. One is session origin. Okay, so origin is from where the AR experience takes the origin. So this is our camera, which is moving, right? Then we have AR plane manager. So this is a script. This is a component that is responsible for making those planes and everything. And here we have something known as detection mode. So here it says horizontal as well as vertical. So in our app, we saw that both the planes were being detected and shown as well. But if we want only the vertical planes, so we will remove the horizontal one and it will only detect vertical planes. Or if we want to only show the horizontal planes, then we remove the vertical one and it will only show us horizontal planes, right? Because for example, if you want to try to put a statue, right, it won't be put on the wall, right? It has to be put on a floor. So we would be using horizontal plane detection. This is AR point cloud, so which gives us an idea about what are the features that are being detected. Okay, we don't need this most of the time, but as is a sample scene just to showcase us that this is there and we can use it just to show it. So that is the thing, that is why it was used, and you could already see the orange dots. Then this is a raycast manager. This again takes care of the raycasting, and with the help of this has multiple built-in functions which uses raycasting and which are pretty handy for creating raycast in the AR experience. Because what were we doing? We were placing a cube, right? So we were actually detecting the planes and then we were doing a raycasting. As soon as that ray hit the plane, we got that point and changed the position of the cube from its last position to the point where the raycast hit it. Okay, so that was a basic example of how to set up ARFoundation and get started with ARFoundation. Okay, so we can now take a look on this place on plane thingy as well. Let's open it up. Okay, because this is how you will learn. Open the scripts up and see what they are doing. Okay. And the best part is they have comments, right, which will help you. So here it says required component type of ARCast. So this very line, make sure as soon as this component is added, it will automatically add this AR Raycast Manager. Automatically, you don't have to do anything because this class cannot function without a AR Raycast Manager. So why not make it compulsory? Even if the user forgets it, instead of giving him errors, let's directly add it, right? So what you would see is if I try to remove this component AR Recast Manager, it won't allow me to do so because it says because it place on plane depends on it, right? Okay, if I remove this place on plane and now if I remove it, it will let me remove it, right? It's Control Z. Okay, so this line takes care of that. Then we have this serialized field game object employee summary. Then we have a public game object and the spawn object that we want to spawn, right? We have named where we pass the cube, right? And then we have on a wake function, we get the reference of this get component here, Raycast Manager. It says try touch position. So as soon as we touch it, like if this is running on a phone, right, that we just did, so it will get the position of the touch. Okay. And in update function, it says if we have a touch, if we do not have a touch, then return, then do not do anything. But if we have a touch, then do a raycast. So using the raycast manager, it says m raycast manager dot raycast. So it is a function in the this AR raycast manager, right? There is a function. There should be, there would be, and there definitely is a function raycast. Okay, raycast. So there are multiple raycast, right? So now let's go. So see, here is a function raycast, and you're going to give different arguments to it. Okay, so place on plane. Here it says raycast. Raycast starting point is the touch position. S hits is the array. It is an array. See, here it is a array, raycast hit array list basically, right? So it will be adding all the points, wherever it hits, the ray hits, it will be adding all the points to this list. Okay, and this is trackable type. So we are saying only hit the planes which are of this type. Okay, and all the planes that AR core creates are of this type, plane within polygons. Okay, and this is a hit pose. So we are saying wherever the ray hits the first, for example, there are two planes. Okay, and if the ray hits here as well as below, just take the one, the first hit. Okay, now if the spawned object is null, for example, if you have nothing, no cube is there, then create a cube, like instantiate this m placed prefab, which is the cube on the hit pose position. Pose means position plus rotation. Okay, this is hit pose. So we are assigning the pose. So we are getting the rotation, we are getting the position. So place, create this prefab, create this cube on this position and on with this rotation. Okay, but what if the cube is already created? Then what do? Then do what? Then simply change the position of this object, which is the spawned object, which is the cube, and change its position to the hit pose dot position. Wherever the cube, wherever the raycasting is being hit, change the cube's position to that place. Okay, so this was a very simple example of creating a demo with the help of just putting a raycast and then placing something. Okay, so in this very tutorial, we learned how can we just get started. What is the best way of getting started with ARFoundation. And as of now, you can see we didn't have to do anything. Everything was set up and we were able to still play with it. And what best thing is, when things are set up, you can actually see what the things are doing. Okay, initially you won't be digging into these scripts because these are doing their own jobs, right? Like it would be a black box. You just need to know its controls. For example, you don't know how a car totally works, how a gear system works, but you know how to use it, right? If you put on gear 1, it will run a specific speed. If you press the clutch and then put on a gear 2 or gear 3 or 4, then it will act accordingly. Simply initial days would be like that. These will be black boxes and you would just need to know how to use them. But slowly and gradually, when you want to create more engaging things, when you want to create, get the best out of it, that is when you should go inside them, inside these things and read about them. Okay, and get to know how things are working. What exactly is this script doing? What is this plane manager? What are the types of function it has? Okay, and you have the this comments here. So this will make it easier and you will get to know, okay, this is how this is tracking stuff, right? So this was for today's class. And yeah, we learned how to set up ARFoundation. As of now, we learned how to just get running with ARFoundation as quickly as possible, right? In tomorrow's session, what we'll be doing is we'll be recreating this very same scene, setting up a new project, adding the packages and everything to get to learn how to set up things from from level 0 and how to create something out of it. Okay. So we will be doing that tomorrow. But for today, I would suggest you to, today's homework could be, you can actually go to these assets and go to scenes and try to run multiple of them. Okay. Try run 1, 2, 3, and whatever, point cloud, plane occlusion, object tracking, and some of this might not work on Android. Okay. Because this ARFoundation is for Android and ARKit. Some functionalities are available in ARKit and some are not in, which are not in this core, right? So try to play with them, this face tracking stuff, human tracking stuff, right? And you will see how things are working. Okay. And that is the best part about this, that you can try things, you can see things. Okay, this works like this. And that's where the fun is, right? So this is again an example of face tracking. And it will actually, as soon as you open this up, it will actually put this sloth face on your face. Whenever a face is detected, this will put a sloth face. So I would suggest you all to try some of these so that you can get to know about a few capabilities. This is a very good way of learning about things, to get to try them. Once you try them, you're excited, you can do stuff, then you start to learn them, then you start to go through them, through the lines, you start to read between the lines, right? That's what they say. So tomorrow we will be recreating the very simple example, and then we'll be recreating another project, and we'll be augmenting our own reality. Okay, so that's all for today. See you guys soon, and spend your day wisely, use your time wisely. This I would strongly suggest, this is the very best time for getting into XR, because by 2024 2025 this is going to be like booming, blasting market. As of now it is, but by then, like, everybody, like, this Unity and AR skills would be the most sought after skills, right? So that's all from my side. See you guys soon, and see you. Bye bye. Have a nice day. Enjoy.